My next guest is an Invicta featherweight fighter who's got a big fight against Amber Leibrock. Megan Anderson is back on the program. How's it going, Megan?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. And you?
Hey, doing very well. Thank you for asking. No one ever asks, so I really appreciate that.
No worries.
Last time we talked, obviously you were getting set to make your Invicta debut, and you were talking about potentially coming over to the States and training, and the big news obviously is that you are living in Kansas City and training at Glory MMA. What has been sort of the biggest culture shock for you as far as living in America now as opposed to Australia?
Um, I guess like everything is just bigger over here,
Okay,
and you drive on the wrong side of the road.
right, that too, yeah,
That
interesting,
that was a pretty confusing to get my head around, but and you also drive on the opposite side of the car as well, so
right.
that's was weird.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to for sure. Is that been the biggest challenge for you? Is the driving part, I guess, as far as the differences?
Um, it's more of like I guess it's different. Like we deal with like meters and kilometers. You guys are in miles, and we deal with like kilograms, and you're in pounds, and like trying to like I know what it is in kilograms, but trying to convert it so everybody else understands what I'm talking about. I guess that's kind of been one of the hardest things to deal with. I'll say something and everyone will look at me like you're crazy. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some differences. It's very interesting. And I should mention even before we kind of continue with the questioning here, how did this all kind of work out with you going and staying in Kansas City? Being able to live in the U.S. and how you ended up with Glory MMA. How did this all come together?
Well, it all kind of, I guess, come together from my management, Poster Boy Fighters. They have strong connections here in Kansas City, and so what I was originally planning on doing was just spending like 2.5 weeks here after my fight on Invicta 14, and just training here at Glory MMA and Fitness. And whilst I was here, my visa was approved, and so we made the decision that I was going to move here.
Right on. Well, that's great, and it's obviously you're at a great camp, and the timing's good too because obviously your fight's in January, but right now you've got a lot of your teammates competing on that big Titan FC 36 card. It must be nice, kind of everyone kind of getting ready at the same time.
Yeah, well, we've got Titan in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
which I'm really excited. You know, the guys are looking really sharp, and I'm pretty excited to see them fight. And everyone's all also kind of getting matched up for early next year as well. So there's going to be a few of us who are fighting January, February. So that'll be really good to be able to have a few training partners over the Christmas break as well. So that'll be
That's
good.
that's awesome. And how long is how long do you plan on staying in the U.S.? Like, what's sort of the long term plan for you as far as training and everything?
At the moment, I guess I'm gonna stay as long as I can.
Right.
So, at the moment, it's we'll see how long I last, I guess. But I
Yeah.
love it here, so I do miss my friends and my family. But they understand that this is the sacrifices that I need to make to be able to achieve my goals, um and I know if I went home, like I'd regret it. So I'm definitely going to give it my all. So
That's great to
yeah.
hear. That's awesome. And let's talk about your last fight. You made your Invicta debut. We talked a bit before, but what was it actually like, stepping in the cage, being in that environment, also with the fact you're on UFC Fight Pass? I mean, it must have been pretty overwhelming for you, just with the fact that this is such, a big stage.
Yeah, well, it definitely was a big step up in competition for me, and it was a good learning experience. I learned a lot about myself. I guess I can only you either win or you learn. So this one,
Right.
unfortunately, was a learn, but I learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I'm with a great team now, and we're gonna move on to the next one.
Yeah, and it seemed like, and I should mention that that fight was against Cindy Danois. Obviously things didn't go your way, but were you right back in the gym? It seemed kind of like on social media that you were kind of right in there as soon as that fight was over, and you've been training kind of ever since. Am I hearing you correctly on that?
Yeah, well, the Monday after the fight, Monday morning, I was back in the gym. So and I haven't really taken much time off since, like a day here or there. But generally, like I want to improve. I don't want to train just for a fight. I want to improve in all areas of my game to become a better martial artist. So, and the only way you can do that is by time in the gym and just learning. So that's why I was straight back in there.
And what have you learned the most so far being at Glory MMA? What are some of the things that you've really been working on?
Really been working on my striking, my wrestling. It's definitely come a long way. Just working on everything really. Like the quality of training partners and coaches here is phenomenal. So, you know, it's definitely at another level. So I've really loved every minute that I've been able to train so far, and hopefully, when the January 16 comes around, I'm definitely going to be a different fighter and a more polished fighter, and I just want to do my team proud. So, yeah.
And I mentioned it off the top. You are fighting Amber Leibrock. How do you think you match up against her?
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Like, really, it could be anyone. Like, it doesn't really bother me. Like I did watch her fight on in the Las Vegas card, I
That's
think,
right.
when she fought Marina Shafir, and I think it's going to be a good fight.
Well, yeah, and that's probably what people know her for most is that fight. Obviously, Shafir is a training partner of Ronda Rousey, so a lot of people saw that fight just for that fact alone. She's only got the one fight, but you obviously have a lot more experience. Do you think that's going to play a factor in this fight?
I think it will. I fought uh, better quality opponents. Um, I think for her, this is a big step up in competition, and I think she's going to come out and do what she can to win. But I think you know, well, that's not going to happen, I guess.
Right. And we talked about training at Glory MMA. Who are some of the people specifically that you're working with for this fight?
Um, well, I guess my main training partners are people like James Krause,
Hmm.
who's also my coach, Tim Elliott, um, Grant Dawson, Bobby Cooper, Yazan Haji, who just had his fight on KCFA on the weekend and destroyed his opponent, which is cool to watch. He's also my roommate.
Hmm.
Um, who else? Grant Dawson, who's fighting on Titan in a few weeks. He's looking phenomenal. Jason Witt, all those guys. There's some top level athletes, and I'm pretty lucky to be able to be in the gym with them every day. So yeah.
And has it, obviously you have a bit of time before you have to do the weight cut and things like that. Has it been difficult being in America because, there's so many different foods and, lots of different candies and things like that I'm sure pretty hard to stay away from?
Oh, it has. It's not really hard. I just ate it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I ate
no, no.
whatever. Um, I've been generally pretty good with eating anyway. Like I'll go out here and there, but like it's not that hard for me to kind of get strict on my diet. So um, I guess I will make 145 in 6 weeks.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Getting back to the fight, how do you see this fight ending on January 16th?
um, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I know she's never fought 5 minute round before, like a
Hmm.
full 5 minute round. So I think that'll be new to her. I guess I kind of want to pull her into deep water and kind of break her, and then I'll finish her from there. So whether that's in the first round, the second round, or the third round, I'm willing to go all 15 minutes. Or if it's a quick finish, then it's a quick finish. We can only see what happens on the night. So yeah.
Absolutely. Just got a couple more quick questions for you. You mentioned that you have a roommate there. You are living in the Glory dorms, if I'm not mistaken. Gaston Rayo's little Glory house there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I
Yes.
am.
How's that like living, having dorm life and, kind of living close to the gym and all that? It must be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. At one point there was 9 of us in the house.
Hmm.
I was a young girl.
Okay.
That was interesting. That I guess it's not that bad because we all are there for the same thing. We're
Right.
all training to get better and training to, achieve our goals. So it's great to be able to live with people who are like-minded and who want to help you achieve your goals as much as you want to help them. So yeah, it's not too bad. Like I used to be in the army, so
Okay.
living with a whole bunch of people isn't really too, doesn't faze me too much. Like I'm pretty easygoing and just as long as I can, have my stuff, it doesn't really bother me.
Who's the messiest person in the house?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm pretty messy like with my own clothes, but they're
Yeah.
like organized piles. But I guess I don't know. Like the kitchen is definitely the messiest room in the house, like
Okay.
hands down. So I don't know. Like I think like in the cleaning department, I'm the cleanest when it comes to like cleaning up after myself. But I don't know. I guess everyone's equally as disorganized as each other.
There you go. Not throwing anyone under the bus. I like that. You're kind of keeping it politically correct. I like it. My last question for you here. Obviously, this fight's in January. The holiday season is coming up with Christmas and everything. What are your plans? Obviously, you're going to be staying in Kansas City, but you're going to be Skyping with the parents, things like that, I imagine?
Yeah, definitely. Like I talk to them every week, well, like
Okay.
multiple times a week, and we Skype on the weekends. So like I'll definitely be calling them and talking to them. So it'll be different because I've never had a Christmas away from home and
Oh, okay.
cold, whereas back home it's in the middle of summer. But it'll be an experience, and I'm sure I'll be fine.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to your fight. Got to check it out. Invicta live on UFC Fight Pass. Megan, I really appreciate you joining me here on the program. Just let my audience know where they can get a hold of you on social media and give any shout outs you need to. The floor is yours.
No worries. Social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that. On Facebook is Megan Anderson MMA. On Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, it's Megan A _ MMA. And big shout out to my sponsors, Line Break, Aardvark, uh, Grit Mouth Guards. I'm terrible at this.
And I'm sure all
um,
the sponsors, they can find your sponsors on your social media as well, too. You're always promoting that stuff. Am I right?
like poster boy fighters, and huge thank you to my team and my coaches at Glory MMA and Fitness. Without them, I wouldn't be getting better, and I wouldn't be able to grow as a martial artist. So a huge thanks to them.